All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin in the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin did get one more drop from yesterday's live stream. During yesterday's live stream, we were looking at that three drives pattern, swing failure of this low with this low, and then a swing failure of this low with yesterday's low during the stream. I did take a long off of that. Now, when we started rejecting and losing right around this VWAP here, I took 50% out of the trade because I did feel like it was going to come down again and hit that golden pocket that we had front run yesterday. So you can see overnight, it actually happened while I was sleeping, came down, hit that golden pocket. I did get an alert that got set off, and I got stopped out on yesterday's position, but I did re-enter, pretty much just looked at my phone while in bed, saw we were bouncing from the golden pocket and entered, went back to sleep. So I'm sorry I didn't post about that in the Telegram. Literally was a half sleep trade. But we are getting the bounce from the golden pocket. And you can see after hitting into that golden pocket, we have bounced up now and we have taken out the highs that we were watching yesterday of this little mini range. This is our intraday range or micro range that we're watching here of the past couple of days. And we got a hit of those highs and we are attempting to get above the double anchored VWAPs. And one of those anchored VWAPs is from the all-time high. The other anchored VWAP is from those 17.2K lows. So these anchored VWAPs now are acting as resistance, and we need to get above them and preferably close a daily candle above them. If we can close a daily candle above these anchored VWAPs at around 113.5 to 113.6, I do think we will see a move up to that point of control and to that golden pocket. There's also a naked daily point of control, a daily level, and a naked weekly point of control up at that area. That is going to be our big resistance coming in between 115.3 and 115.8, where we do have that naked weekly point of control. So naked daily's at 115.6, and naked weekly's at 115.845. So that's the next big area of resistance that I'm going to be watching for Bitcoin. Now, guys, as far as the Elliott impulse to the downside goes, we can count this now as a 5-wave impulse here. If this is the 4th wave, then we might even see one more low in a 5. Or if this was a 4th wave in here and we made the 5th wave down yesterday, now that this impulse is potentially ended, we're looking for a 3-wave corrective move up to that golden pocket 786 area, where if we do move up there in a 3-wave corrective pattern, low volume push to the upside, then I would expect another 5-wave impulse dump to the downside, potentially even all the way down to 105K for our bigger ABC correction here within the much larger WXY correction that could bring us all the way down to 105K. So this is what I'm going to be watching for Bitcoin over the next couple of days. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, we were able to get some wickage above those anchored VWAPs today and that micro range high, but we are not able to really reclaim that area of resistance yet. And it is going to be acting as a pretty significant resistance locally here because it is the anchored VWAP of both the upper trend and the anchored VWAP of the downtrend, the larger downtrend. And that those two volume levels of resistance combined are going to be a little bit of a tough nut to crack for Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin can get above them and start to close some candles above, then I do think we can see that corrective move pushes up this relief rally that we're expecting potentially over the next week or a couple of days up to that 115.3 to 115.8K area of support, where that is going to be a very, very crucial area of resistance, not support, resistance, where we could see that big drop like I just talked about. Now, coming into the golden pocket, remember, guys, I always talk about in the videos, wait for your actual levels to be hit. And I know someone in the stream yesterday asked me, why did you take the long off of the 3rd SFP? Well, I took that long because we had bull divs on the chart and it was a valid trade setup. It's called the 3 drives pattern. But we did not hit that golden pocket. And I did say, guys, this 3 drives pattern might not play out. We might come down again and hit the golden pocket. But now that we've actually hit our support level with bull divs on the chart, you can see here lower lows in the price action, higher lows in the momentum waves. And on NAMI, which has faster money flow, you can see the money flow is already curving to the upside, had the bull divs confirmed on NAMI and Market Cipher B. And we got that bounce from support. And we are seeing a bit of a nice, at least little push up today from that support level. So still overall to me, I would have to say my bias, the overall medium term bias is for more downside. First coming up potentially up to that 115K area, seeing this A, B, C, and potentially pushing all the way down to 105K in the bigger WXY correction here. But this is what I'm going to be watching over the next few weeks. Now, if Bitcoin can, there is a possibility that this golden pocket will hold and that we will create a flat as well, where we come back up and take out 118K again, actually hitting into that naked weekly point of control, creating kind of a flat in here before continuing the overall range or that bigger push down. So I'll be watching that 115 to 115.8K golden pocket very, very closely. If we are continuing to see money flow drain out of the asset on some of these medium to higher time frames, then I will look for a short there to take down to lower levels. Other than that, guys, it's been a slow day for Bitcoin. But you can see if we look at, let me go ahead and clean up this chart here. If you do look at our volume profile of the past about 6 weeks of price action since July 10th, we are back above the value area low of the range, which was acting as our local resistance the last couple of days. And even now, if we zoom in onto the 2-hour chart, you can see breaking above that value area low. If we're coming down right now to back test that value area low at 113, about 113, 150, 113, 160, and we do hold that as support very, very locally, then I do think we will continue to push up to that, to reclaim the anchored VWAPs and then to actually make it up to our resistance above us. So that's about what I'm going to be looking at for Bitcoin. Honestly, there's not too much else to talk about. We are seeing some bullish CVD absorption. I guess it's bullish CVD absorption, but it's not really very confident bullish CVD absorption because our open interest, you can see from our lows that we made last night, we are making higher lows on the price action. We are making lower lows on the CVD, and our open interest is increasing. But once again, guys, it's not that steady, nice increase that we want to see. You see these big, jagged decreases in open interest that we're seeing here. And oftentimes that does invalidate the bullish CVD absorption. But textbook, as far as textbook technical analysis goes, we are seeing with the higher open interest, some bullish absorption on the charts. I just don't think it looks the cleanest, and I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. I'm going to be paying attention to it a little bit, though. So as far as Bitcoin goes, I am looking for a little bit more of a relief rally to continue up over the next couple days. Our liquidation, you can see that we finally came out and took down the liquidity below all those lows, specifically the lows that we were looking at yesterday. If we look at that 24-hour chart, let's go to the 48-hour chart. We finally took out that liquidity that was below us that we were watching in the stream yesterday. And now we are just pushing up. And if we zoom back out to the higher time frames, if we look at that 1 month chart, the last month of price action, you can see that we still do have a significant amount of liquidity. Let me go to the Model 3 heat map. We still do have a significant amount of liquidity that is below us. So giving me a bias that that larger WXY correction might play out over the next month. But you can see our next major liquidity level is down to about 109K. That is also where our next big support level is going to be coming in. That next 786 and naked daily point of control. It's about 109.8 to 109.5. That is going to be a naked daily point of control in confluence with that 786. And then, of course, the big support level below us is that naked monthly point of control in confluence with our anchored VWAP from the 74K lows and really taking out the lows from September 1st. So that's what I'm looking at as the major support levels. Now, above us, if we can get above this golden pocket at 115.7 or 115.3 to 115.8, I would say, then I expect us to make a move up. Really, I would be expecting us to take out the highs again at 118K and actually hit that naked daily point of control. Yes, there's always a chance we could reject from this 116.5 level, which is our 786 level. But really, this is our resistance above us, our local significant resistance above us. Now, you can see I do have a new daily level on the chart that just confirmed 9 minutes ago. So we do have a new daily level below at 112K. I will be keeping an eye on that, although there's not much confluence there. If we look at our naked daily points of controls for today, you can see, or the one that just closed 9 minutes ago, you can see it's right around where we're at right now. So really not paying too much attention to that, to be honest here. It's just above us. It's about 113.5, 113.6 in confluence, actually, with our anchored VWAPs. So if we get another pump up and reject very, very locally from that 113.6 again, actually, let's go ahead and zoom in on this. We're getting a little bit of push now, but you can see yesterday's naked daily point of control, or the one that confirmed 9 minutes ago. We could do something like this, reject here, and then come down to actually hit that value area low at 113.1, and then start to get that push up. But I am long on Bitcoin. I am also short on Bitcoin from close to the highs, close to those 118K highs. I think it was like 117.6. And just going to be playing my levels, looking at my levels. That's pretty much all that we're looking at here with Bitcoin. Now, quickly, guys, I just want to talk about the partners of the channel. We do have BYDFI. They are a VPN-free and KYC-free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you're interested in using my affiliate link for BYDFI, you'll get a minimum discount of 20% off trading fees, but you can get higher discounts on trading fees, up to 40% off discounts on trading fees, depending on how much you deposit. You'll also get a 50% deposit bonus if you deposit just $100. You'll get a 50% deposit bonus. Also, you will get access to my Telegram community, where I've partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post a lot of my market analysis and trade setups and thoughts on the market ahead of time. If you're interested in that, the link for the Telegram is in the description. Once you deposit your money, go ahead and click on that link and then type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be a string of numbers and letters up here. And that'll get you access automatically to that Telegram community. And also, they're offering various 10 to 20% discount bonuses depending on if you deposit more money. They're also offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses just for trading in the futures markets. And that, of course, is dependent on how much volume you move in those markets. Second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. NAMI is a momentum and money flow indicator that I do use for those entry and exit confirmations. For instance, if we go back to the 4-hour chart, you can see that NAMI had very, very nice confirmations. The bull divs here with money flow coming to the upside was that trigger to look for a long position from hitting your golden pocket. And so NAMI is running a 50% off special if you use my affiliate link. Divine50 is the discount code, and the link and the code are in the description in this video if you're interested in NAMI. Third, we have MEXC, and fourth, we have Bybit. Those are two great reputable exchanges with low fees, and they're also offering futures bonuses depending on how much you trade and move in your futures markets. So links are in the description below. Now let's get back to the TA here. Let's go to Ethereum. Guys, Ethereum has been super boring all day. Pretty much been doing nothing all day. We're still ranging below the value area low of our 6-week-long range that we broke down from. And after taking the liquidity of those actual range lows, we're just forming a sideways range, and in between that area, this small sideways range. Now, to me, this doesn't look too bullish, and I do think that we are going to continue down in our Elliott impulse pattern here. If we look at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, all of this was our wave 3. We're in our wave 4 now. Now, this wave 4 could be just a flat range in here, but generally you will make it up to the 382. So if we pull our fib from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3, you can see that 382 is going to be right around the value area low of the range. So that is going to be the resistance above where I'll look for a potential rejection if we do get a break of this micro range up to this area in our wave 4, and then maybe one more low in a wave 5 to come down to the 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension target, or even lower here. So that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Honestly, nothing else to update on this. If you want to scalp Ethereum, go ahead and take a volume profile of this small range. I would not include the big dump whip. That's part of the impulse to the downside. So maybe you can zoom in on the 15-minute and just play this small range here. But to me, it is not worth it. There's better trade setups in the market. If you're a very, very small, low time frame scalper, of course, yes, trade the value area low, the value area high, also the highs and lows of the range. But that's it for Ethereum, guys. Overall, maybe Ethereum can get that push up to the 382, about 4280-ish to about 4270-ish. And then we would be looking for lower targets if we do reject from that area. Next up, Solana. Solana is still kind of grinding to the downside here. Now, we did front run. Let's zoom out to the 2-hour chart and let me get rid of some of this local TA here. Solana is actually seeing that push down, and I'm looking still for a 5-wave corrective move as well on Solana, because this does, once we actually hit our resistance and reject it from our weekly level and our macro 786, we got a nice wave 1, wave 2. All of this could still be part of wave 3. If we break structure here, we could see a wave 4 that pushes us up to about 224 or 223 to 225. And then I would be looking for a 5th wave down to come down to this 203 to about $200 level, where we have significant support down below here. We have a naked weekly point of control at 203.5, and we have a weekly and a daily and a pitchfork at 200. So I will be looking for longs if we come down here. If we see a 5-wave impulse down here into that level of support with bull divs on the chart between the lows of 4 and the lows of 5, I will be looking for long position, but I will be playing this long position as a scalp with a target of a lower high. So a 3-wave corrective move up to our golden pocket and a lower high, so we can speculate on where that golden pocket could come in. If I pull a Fibonacci retracement from the highs of the impulse to our potential lows, and I'm just going to throw them right on that $200 level, and we look at our golden pocket, I would be looking, right up to the top of the pitchfork band at about 233 to 235. If I long 200, I will plan to take profit at 233 to 235. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll keep you guys updated on these trade setups. But right now, I'm expecting Solana could keep grinding down here. Even in our wave 3 locally, we could grind down in our wave 3 until we hit the 203 mark. Then we'll see a push up in a wave 4, and then get one more push down to the 200 mark in a wave 5. So, but this is definitely a level of interest between 203 and 200 for me as a support level. That is about it for Solana. Overall, Solana is rejecting from that macro resistance that we talked about. It was also the top of a pitchfork level, or the top of a pitchfork. And we know that when we do reject the tops of these pitchforks, you often will at least work your way down to the upper band. And if the upper band doesn't hold, you often work your way down to the midline. And that's where our next major level of support is coming up, at that midline. So that's it for Solana. Going on to Sui. Sui is bouncing from our level of support, that level of support that we had marked out being the anchored VWAP and our macro 786, I believe it was. Let's see. First of all, we did reject from that resistance box perfectly. Yeah, 786 anchored VWAP, and I believe there was a naked daily point of control down here. And after rejecting from our golden pocket and our point of control resistance, we had this marked out ahead of time as well, guys. And I told you guys, if we do come up here with bear divs, this would be a potential good short opportunity. We have now fallen back inside of our descending channel, and now we are coming down to our local support level. Now, I've talked about this for the past couple of weeks on the stream. I'm really looking for Sui to come down to that 295 to 289 level of support, where we have a naked daily, a naked weekly point of control in confluence with our larger golden pocket. And if we are going to see a 5-wave move in here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get a small bounce here, make a 3-wave corrective move up, and then see another 5-wave move down to that golden pocket, that is what I'd be looking for that bigger ABC correction that could bring us down to 295 to 289. Locally, the resistance above is the same resistance I told you guys about in yesterday's stream. That is just going to be simply the value area low of our 2-month long range, or 6-week long range, in confluence with the point of control of our much larger range. And as long as we're below that area, which is about 347, as long as we're below 347, we do have a higher probability to at least come take out our lows at 311, but potentially even to come down to that 295 to 289 level. That is about it for Say. That's all I'm looking for right now on Say. Trading the local range, trading the more macro range. Let me go ahead and grab that. There we go. Yeah, and so say pretty simple as well. We are seeing a small bounce from our level of support because it is an anchored VWAP and a 786. So 347. If we come up to 347 with local bearish divs, because money flow still looks kind of crappy on say on some of the higher time frames, and we have a potential impulse to the downside, I will be looking for a potential scalp short from 347. Actually, we can set an alert there right now. Okay, going on to, or that was Sui. Going on to Say. Now, Say, very, very similar, guys, and I've been talking about these impulses to the downside. We have our highs. We got an initial push down. We got our lower high into our resistance box that we had marked out prior, and now we're seeing our wave 3 push to the downside. We could be just slow grinding up right now in a wave 4, and you can see our targets between the 382 and the 0.5 are going to be between a 30.5 and 31.4, which we also have the bearish backtest of our pitchfork band there. So if we get that rise, we're bouncing from our local support level. If we get a rise up to backtest that pitchfork band and we do reject, I will look for a potential short for a fifth wave down to at least take out Sunday's lows, which are weakened lows that often get taken out. Therefore, finishing your 5-wave impulse to the downside. So that's it. Now, of course, this daily level, let's zoom out to the daily. This daily level that was a support level has now been hit. Let me clean up this chart for a second. This daily level has now been hit, so we can take that off the chart. And actually, we are confirming a new daily level right around that same area today. You can mark that out yourself. It's about 28.82, new daily level here. Not going to be paying too much attention to that. Like if we go onto the hourly chart, yeah, we might see a very local bounce from that area if we're going to continue this sideways range. It's also going to be where your very local golden pocket is. If we pull a golden pocket from the last hourly low to the hourly high, turn on that golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket is in confluence with that daily level. So that could be a scalp position if I'm going to scalp that. So let's say we're going to long that bounce there, the daily level. I would be setting my stop below that golden pocket or maybe below the 786 as well. So let's throw that 786 on. Let's throw both of them on, excuse me. And I would be setting that stop below that 786. And I would be targeting these range highs. You can see we have semi-equal highs up there. And just playing a very small scalp position. And let's see if is that risk even worth it. 3.5 risk to reward ratio. Yeah. So that could be a very local scalp that you take on, say, and potentially leave some of that open to come up to your 31-cent level where that pitchfork band is. Other than that, nothing else new to update on, say, kind of a slow day today in the markets, guys. On XRP, XRP did break that ascending channel to the upside that we were talking about yesterday in the live stream, and we are getting a move up near our point of control. Let's actually pull this all the way now. You can see we have not quite hit the naked daily point of control in confluence with our range point of control of this larger descending channel that goes all the way back to mid-July again, so about 6 weeks. We are getting a bounce from that level of support that we marked out our local level, but that wicked down, and I talked about this on Friday's live stream, or excuse me, Tuesday's live stream in depth. So if you want to go watch the video on that, we grabbed the liquidity of our range lows with a swing failure pattern, but overall held above the value area low of our 6-week long range, and it was also our daily level and a 786, I believe, that was down there. So that was that support box. I'm going to delete that now. I'm also going to delete this daily because we've hit into this daily. And I expect that XRP could push up a little bit higher to hit this naked daily point of control around 301, $3 to 301. It does look a little bit cleaner than some of the other ones. This, if we pull a Fibonacci from the potential highs of this local impulse down to the lows, you can see that we have hit the golden pocket. So now this actually, we're rejecting from this golden pocket, but this invalidates this as a 5-wave move at 1, 2, 3. Your 4th wave cannot retrace to that golden pocket or invalidates that as a 4th wave move to the downside. So, or 4th wave correction to the upside before seeing a 5th wave down. So for me, XRP is actually looking a little bit more bullish, and maybe we're just going to continue to range within this overall sideways range here. We are holding the value area low of that range after taking the liquidity of the lows of the range, and we're getting a pretty significant push up. As far as the volume profile trading goes, you can see that yes, we are rejecting our local golden pocket here. But if we do get that push up to 301, that is $3 to 301. That's going to be the resistance I'm going to be watching. If we do reject this point of control, then maybe we are going to see a breakdown to our next level of support between 262 and 256. If we break above 301, then I do think we get that move up to our next resistance that we had front run last September 13th up into that value area high 786 level of resistance above between 321 and 323. That is all that I'm looking at on XRP. Just trade the range until it breaks. So we have this bigger 6-week long range. We bounce from the value area low. If we come up to this point of control and reject, then you can look for a small short position to come down. And what I would be looking at is I would first pull my Fibonacci from the lows to the highs, and I'm just going to put it on that naked daily for now. And I'd be looking around this golden pocket because you could see it would be in confluence with the value area low and some internal liquidity. So I would be looking at that as at least a TP1, this general area. I'm going to put the box there, but I'm not going to keep it because it is a theoretical fib right now. We haven't come up there yet. But that would be the level of support that I'd be looking at if we reject from the naked daily. That's about it for XRP. Let's go on to Chainlink here. Now, Chainlink, guys, is interesting because Chainlink, we are bouncing from our macro support level where I did talk about for weeks in advance, this could be a swing long area. The SFP of our 6-week long range, you can see that SFP of those range lows at 20.8 into your macro value area high of your almost 2-year long range. And since we broke above that range, we have not bullishly backtested it until Monday here. Actually, it was Sunday. But you can see here we're also in it looks like what looks like impulsive price action down from the last rejection of our golden pocket that we saw here. Now, we had this marked out ahead of time as well, guys. We've marked this out in the stream, and we told you guys if we come up to that golden pocket with bear divs, then you could look for a short on a lower high, just like Bitcoin's 118K golden pocket. And since then, we've been seeing some impulsive price action to the downside. So we have a wave 1, a wave 2. Our wave 3 could have ended where it did at 20.3. Your wave 4 often retraces up to the 382 or to the 0.5. And what I'm looking at here is we are rejecting exactly from that 382. So the fourth wave correction could be over, and we could be about to roll over to come down to make one new low in our fifth wave. Now, we do not want to come much lower than that 20.3. I would want to see just like an SFP of that low and then start to push up here because that is our macro support level that we do not want to lose. If we start to close daily candles under 20.6, I do think we can see a move down to $18 and even down to $16, where we have between 16.6 and 16.3 is our next major supports. So everything is looking a little bit bearish still, guys. We are seeing a little bit of a relief rally, but don't get caught in the trap of just because we're pushing up today with some low volume, low kind of grindy push up that the dump is over. It might not be over, and based off Elliott wave analysis, these impulses to the downside could continue. We just might be in a fourth wave corrective move that might last a few days. And by the way, on Chainlink here, we generally want to see a 3-wave move in those corrective moves. So there is a potential that we could make it up to that 0.5 around 22.6, where you can see if we do pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction. Let me just re-pull this here. From the lows on Sunday to the highs that we made yesterday to the lows that we made yesterday, you can see that 1-to-1 fib target. If we're going to see a 3-wave corrective move, then that 1-to-1 target is going to be coming in right around your 0.5 and right around the value area low of your 6-week long range. So that would be a potential short resistance area for me between 22.7 and 22.6. local resistance here, where we could then get one more push down and a wave 5 to take out Sunday's lows, weekend lows. It's not guaranteed though. We could just reject from this 382 that we've already tapped, and we could just drop right back down right now. But this is what I'm looking at for Chainlink. So thank you guys for watching the video today. I will be streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join me. We can look at some of your altcoins. We can look at Bitcoin, do some in-depth analysis on some of the major altcoins here. And please hit the like button. If you got any insight into the market in this video, please hit the like button. I will see you tomorrow.